Here we're going to be practicing adding and subtracting decimals. And the key to doing decimals, adding and subtracting, is just to make sure that you have everything lined up. We subtract or add according to place value, meaning we subtract ones from ones, tens from tens, hundreds from hundreds. That's what we do with whole numbers. When it comes to decimals, we do the same thing. We subtract or add place value. So tenths would be with tenths, hundredths with hundredths, and so on and so forth. So this is not bad at all as long as you just keep things nice and lined up. So, oops, went too far there. This one says find each sum or difference. So our problem here says we have 5.69 plus 11.79. So I'm going to line these up. I'm going to rewrite this up and down so we can see it. 5.69 and then add 11.79. Now notice that whenever I line these up, I lined my decimal up, because as long as your decimal is lined up, everything else will be lined up also. Our ones position is lined up, our tenths position is lined up, and our hundredths position is lined up. So as long as we do that, now it's just a matter of adding up and down. So 9 plus 9 would be 18, and 1 plus 6 would be 7, plus 7 would be 14. Now our decimal stays nice and lined up. This would be 1 and 5 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and nothing plus 1 is 1. So our answer here would be 17.48. The key is lining up the decimals. Let's try another one. This one says 372.1 minus 33.7. So again, we've got to keep this nice and lined up. I'm going to rewrite it. It's 372.1 minus. Now our decimal has to stay right underneath that other decimal. And then we're just going to fill in the numbers where they go. 33.7. Got to keep that decimal lined up. And now it's just a matter of subtracting like we would normally. We can't take 7 from 1, so we would have to borrow from 2. So adding that 10 here, this becomes an 11. 11 minus 7 would be 4. We'll keep our decimal nice and lined up. And we can't take 3 from 1, so we would have to borrow. So borrowing that one set of 10s and turning it into 1s would make 11 here. So 11 minus 3 would be 8. 6 minus 3 would be 3. And 3 minus nothing would be 3. So our answer there, not very pretty, is 338.4. Now, there may be times whenever you line things up and they don't look as pretty, but we're going to figure out a way to fix that. This problem says we have 76.5, and we're going to add that to 0.506. Now notice I kept my decimals nice and lined up so that everything else would be lined up. If we need to see these positions, we could always fill this in with zeros, because 0.500 is the same thing as 0.5. So we can always add zeros to the end of a decimal and it doesn't change the meaning any. But now we can go ahead and we can do our addition. So 0 plus 6 would be 6. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 5 would be 10. So we're going to carry the 1, and notice my decimal stays nice and lined up. 1 plus 6 would be 7. And 7 plus nothing would be 7. So our answer here would be 77.006.